In '64, when Porsche announced the 911, it was a big revolution, but it was so expensive to build. The cars were something like 60% more expensive than the previous 356. So a lot of guys said to their Porsche dealers, well, yes, it's a great car, but I cannot afford it. Porsche in Stuttgart responded by creating the 912. The 912 was basically the 911 body, chassis, everything, but with the old 356 4-cylinder in it. It still was a 911 chassis, very nice driving, and even a bit better handling, because the 911 engine was so heavy, it had so much weight behind the back wheel, and the 912 had less of that. After '69, everything about Porsche was the 6-cylinder engine. So for a very long time, the 912 was looked upon as being the black sheep of it all. It's really, it was worth nothing. And now, well, it's a desirable car again. I did the French Championship for Supermoto for something like 8 years. It's really hard to make a living out of it. So since you're paying for everything, you have to enjoy everything you do. Even the mechanical part, even the driving around to get to the racetrack, you have to enjoy. And I guess with the Porsche, I'm trying to recreate that. I want to enjoy every part of it. Most guys have learned vintage cars with their father, or I guess some with their mother. But I actually remember working on wood, because my father worked a bit on wood. He liked to build stuff, but nothing about cars. In 2012, my father died, very unexpected death. I also had a little girl in June, and it kind of made me think about, well, past, futures, and just resetting what I wanted in life. And I really wanted to build stuff and to have another challenge, I guess. So I did go on the hunt for a 912. After 2 months, I did find a pretty good deal. It was nice, it was running, but it was kind of sad looking. The paint was roughed up and the floor pans were almost gone. As I started to think where I could work on the car, I thought of this house. It's my grandparents' family house. It's in Porsche because nobody's living here since 40 years. It's a little village, it's not far from Paris, but well, we're working on old cars in old stone building. It's bumpy, the floor is bumpy, the gravels outside is hard to push a car on that. It's just still a bit of ivy, so I can say there's green plants in my work environment. Not a lot of guys are grinding next to a plant. I received an email from the administrator of a 912's register forum in the US. It turns out there only was 2 real owners. He sold the car after 45 years, and as I was beginning to take it apart, I asked him a few more questions because he kind of forgot to mention an accident on the front right of the car. And the first answer on his email was, well, I was young and not married. So I think it said it all. I guess after the accident he bought a 69 or 70 front right fender, but there's a bit of flare on the fender, more than the original. And to be correct with the other fenders on the car, he had it worked on. It gives it a more racing look. It's not original, but I love it. The bodywork on the rear fenders were not that great. It's a very specific shape. It's the back end of a Porsche. Some areas there was like more than 1 centimeter of body filler. So at the end we took it back to the bare metal, and then we worked our way back to have a very nice curve. With a machine you could do it a lot quicker, but it's not going to look that good. So I guess under this paint there's a lot of sweat. It was really important to me that the car kept its original color, but it's something really funny. You can take 10 color red Porsche and there's not one that's going to look the same as the other. It's a very difficult color to get very precisely. I put Bilstein suspension, 16 inches wheels. I painted the fush wheels same way it was done in the 60s and 70s. I chose to swap engine because, well, first of all, mine will need to be rebuilt. I kept it flat 4 because I bought a 912, so I still want it air-cooled. I still want it with the same kind of architecture. It's a T1. It was built by a performance workshop close to Paris. So yes, it's a bit more sportier. I think it's something like the revenge of the black sheep. I want to be able to take on a 911 with my black sheep 912 and see what the poor man's Porsche can do. There's a flat 4 spirit. 912 is more a barbecue car rather than a golf course car. It's closer to the Volkswagen buses, the bug, young guy going surfing with friends. It's not a car to show off, it's a car to enjoy. My father used to say something I think is the best advice. When you start to do something, do it to the end. Never hesitate in the middle, because it's hesitations that's going to get you killed. And in motocross, it's even bigger. You have to jump, or not to jump, but do not hesitate on the way up. But I think this challenge is done, so I think I'm going to move on to another project. So we bought some others. I don't know yet what the program is going to be on this one or the other ones. Let's weld and grind. We'll see what's underneath. I'm Julien Borne and I drive a 1967 Porsche 912.